do it. Anybody remember going to the club? And in the club, you got that person who's like standing in the middle of the floor looking all serious. And that's the international symbol for stay away. But anybody ever gone to the club where you have, I like to call it the old guy? There's the guy who's like 70 years old, 80 years old, and just dancing. And everybody's around them. The smile brings everybody over. When we go to speak, if we smile, that settles the nerve of the audience. So we have to see that smile. We talked about it earlier. I forgot your name here. Your name?
Rosemary.
Rosemary was talking with me earlier. We were talking about projection, and she's talking about diaphragm. It says chin up, mouth up. Many times you start to droop. And if we're drooping down here, guess what? You really can't hear me unless I bring my chin up. So where are we projecting? It allows us, she said, from the diaphragm to bring up that piece there. So keep our chin up, and then we can project to everybody. As I'm going down the list here, we can share your passion. So only speak of what you're passionate about. Tell your story. People love telling stories.
Yeah.
Aren't we a culture of telling stories? Versus bullet prints.
Yep.
We don't need to use bullets. Share a story with people on how you're going to get better. If you're going to be teaching them another language, shouldn't we be teaching them how they can use it? Tell a story of when, where, and how they can use it. That's how you learn. From there, be yourself. Stop trying to be somebody else. Be the best version of yourself. People are attracted when you're genuine yourself. Most people came up to me at lunchtime and go, we really appreciate you, how you showed your family, who you are, the things that you failed at. You've seen me fail during this presentation a couple times, but that draws you over. After that one there, be a speaker, not a reader. Okay, everybody, what we're going to do today is we're going to be doing our speaking tips. Now, if you check things out right here, what we can do is, I've got my laser here. What I want you to do is I want you to be a reader and then have some fun and then impact lives. Is this making an impact on all of you as I got my back to you and I'm just reading every bullet right now because you guys, you just can't read. I mean, you have your chin up, mouth open. Okay, class is over, dismissed. Anybody been around that person? Yeah. But what we're doing is we're making it into a storytelling mode where it's like going, hey, let's go ahead and talk it out. Everybody will notice my eyes every now and then. I'll just like look up to the side there. I'm like, we need to have some fun. And then as I do is I'm looking at everybody here. I'm panning over. I look up over there because if we have fun, we impact lives. Oh my goodness, he knows all the slides. No, this is my cheat sheet. I get a chance to go look at it. So here's the big one, everybody. I want you to go out and continue to do the amazing work that you do. When it comes to teaching, speaking in public, it's not about being like me. It's not being like the person next to you. But we can all learn from each other. We can find a little something over here, because think about it, when we cook, we talk about spice and flavor. Can't we take a little spice to add to it, or pull a little spice away to cook it up the way that we want? Your classroom, your students, the people that you work with, they're coming to get that knowledge and information from you in your unique way that you deliver it. They're not asking you to teach it like everybody else. They want it just prepared in a way that they want to consume it, and then they can learn from it, and then once they get out those doors, go out and replicate it. That's how we spice up our speaking. And from there, I'm going to leave you with this. There's a lot of people who have some questions for me. I did another deal here with the organization. I have a course that teaches people how to improve their speaking both in person or virtually. There's about 10 hours worth of content. It's self-guided. So we've made a special price for $44 because 4 is my favorite number, so 44. But once again, 50% of any sales will be going back to the organization as a fundraiser. So you go to that QR code, it'll just pull up, it'll tell you the price, you can go and get it. The other part is of the course, you have any questions, you have a direct email access to me. You send a question, and I usually will respond back to you within less than 48 hours. If I'm traveling, you don't ever hear me say I'm busy. They'll just say, hey, I'm traveling. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Or I might even put a link in there saying, hey, here's a video. I've answered this question before. And then this year, we've also had some pop-ups where I'll do a live Q&A, usually through Zoom. And I'll tell people, hey, I'm going to do a live Q&A on this day. Bring your questions. Or I might bring an expert in to talk about a particular area of their expertise to help you grow. So that's going to be there for the organization. So other than that, that is the end of this presentation. I have to say thank you so much. And because a lot of you do have questions, I'm going to hang out here until the last question is answered. So I'm not sure if you're going out to another breakout or anything there, but please hang out here, and I'll answer any of those questions for you. And I've got our our past president, because he can't be a former past president, right?
Yeah.
He's got a few words.
Immediate past.
Immediate past president.
No, I just want to thank you for an outstanding presentation and for sharing your knowledge. It has been amazing. Don't you think?
Yeah. Thank you.
And also, on behalf of F.R.E.S.H, we want to give you a token of appreciation.
Okay.
With this certificate.
And this is not the color blue my folder came in 10 years ago. That's a good blue.
This is just to acknowledge your
Thank you.
this great presentation,
Right.
and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so have a great afternoon. I'm not sure, what is going on after this? Do we have one more session, or?
We have a break.
We have a break. Yeah, then here's what I'll do. I always want to make sure I deliver what you would like. So once again, as educators, depending on how your classes work, always make some time to answer the questions, because I could talk here all day, but that's what I want to share. But I want to make sure I'm giving you the information that you need. So I will stay here right now. I've got the mic. Anybody have any questions? What can I help you out with? Yes.
Yes. I've noticed that the best.
And I'm going to pause for 1 second. So a lot of times we'll ask questions, but they can't hear the person. So proper etiquette is to hand you the microphone. If she doesn't have the microphone, then I repeat the question back so everybody here has a chance to learn. So I'm going to hand you the microphone.
Oh, okay. Right. I have noticed that one way of catching people's attention, especially when you begin your presentation, is by asking questions.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep.
I noticed that you use that.
Yep. So she said to get people's attention is a proper way to ask questions. Well, there are different ways to get people's attention. Questions is one of the ways that we can do. So we could ask a question. So the question draws people in and allows me to understand who's there. Another thing is you could put either an image, because people are visual, so you could put an image up on the screen. That draws people in. You can actually come here and do this, and I've done this several times. And I don't speak until everybody brings their attention. So if a room is talking, just the quiet piece there is like, oh, something's about to happen. Or you can give a quote that's going to be up there, but it's something impactful or poignant where it's going like, ooh, what's that? So I'm going to be like, hey, I don't know what the number is. Somebody here may know it. But I can say, there are 1 billion people in the world who speak Spanish. Did I just draw you in?
Yeah.
And today, I'm going to teach you how you can speak Spanish too. I mean, so there's something there as far as just a direct quote or comment. So there's different ways, either a question, some type of visual, pausing and being quiet, or giving them some type of fact or statement. And this young lady right here, she's got some more to add too, so yes, and.
Yes, just like you, teachers use their vocal cords every day, and even on weekends. I like to be quiet on weekends. Well, I used to be.
Yep.
But how do you take care of that organ?
Okay, so great question. So the way to take care of that organ, there's a couple ways. A lot of times when I go to an event or a conference, not coming to happy hour tonight, but not coming to happy hour, it's not because of the alcohol, but most bars tend to be loud. And if it's the night before I'm supposed to speak, I'm going to be straining my vocal cords in there so you can hear me. So I try to avoid spots where there's going to be a lot of outside noise going into it. As you said, for the weekend, I tend to be quiet and rest on a plane. So what I will do is I might put my earphones on, watch a movie, listen to a book, and I need some moments of quiet. I've got my friend Joe. He was the one speaker who came with me to my father-in-law's backyard. When I go to a conference and I speak, I'm known for shaking everybody's hands and making the most, and not being mean, but he'll kind of give me a time limit. He's like, hey, Frank, you know what? You're going to be speaking again in about 2 hours. Let's stop. Let's walk the back way because you love people. And he goes, you're going to stop and talk to everybody, but you need to take some time to rest. This one sounds funny, but a funny one too is, anybody know the squeezy applesauce? The squeezy applesauce will coat your throat plus give you energy. So there's some points I will go and do that. Just to have something, so think about something that's going to coat your throat. I've got cough drops and lozenges. Not the red ones, but I can suck on that. Today was tea and honey, but it wasn't hot tea, it was warm tea. Because this is a muscle, you want to warm that muscle up. So I don't want to scald it. So usually it's rest, hydration, and something that's going to be coating. So right before I stepped on stage here, I had a mint. and those like little mints that help coat your throat. So it allows me to do, at lunch, 2 bottles of water. I've been drinking fluid constantly, so right before we started, I also went to the bathroom because I'm always making sure we're hydrated. It's a great question.
Great.
All right. Anyone else? I saw a question. Yes, sir.
I'm curious, I have a lot of students who will, like, when they're speaking and they're active speaking,
Yes.
they'll like freak out.
Yeah.
They'll just say, like, I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
And obviously, we don't want them to be saying that. So
Mhm.
I'm curious as to, like, what strategies do you have, like, perhaps before
Yep.
they're going to speak, but also perhaps, like, when that actually happens?
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that?
So with the energy, nervousness is pretty much the opposite of excitement. It's still the same energy, but we have to figure out where we're focusing it. So for anybody I've ever worked with, especially like my students in the past or employees, one was we just kind of pulled them to the side, and I wanted to turn their brain off from that talk or presentation. So I've had some people before where I'll pull up a funny video, and they'll just start going there, and just we're refocusing their brain. We have to step away from it. There's a great book years ago, it was called Paper Tiger, and it was talking about professional golfers. And they have sports psychologists, and it goes, don't see this as 18 holes, because your brain can only focus roughly about 3 to 5 minutes. And then after that, it's going to start to wander. So they go, focus on this hole, and then find something else to take your mind somewhere else, and then refocus on the second hole. So with my students, people I've worked with, I'm going, okay, let's go ahead and refocus them. So what we'll do is, I'm like, hey, what makes you smile? And it might be their dog, their kid. I'm like, I want you to put that on your phone. So right before they step on, they look at that. Or while they're speaking, they'll be next to the podium or the lectern, and they'll look down, and that slows them down for a little bit. Then the other one is, I'll ask, what's worrying you? And they'll tell me their worries. So then I'll say, what would you like today? What do you want? Because then we have kids, and we say, what do you want? And everybody's always excited to talk about what they want. So as soon as they start asking what they want, they start talking about it, and you'll watch the body language and everything change, and they'll slow down. They're so focused on what they don't want, that's what makes them nervous. There's other pieces where, once again, his name is Dakota, he had, and it's funny, our pre-routine was he would start to get, we all get nervous, like my hand will shake from time to time. So I like to go talk to people, everybody does something different. But for Dakota, it was really fun, we had a really great connection, was we would go backstage, and he would start laughing, we played the song Kung Fu Fighting.
Oh.
And then I had him in the back, because his therapist told me, like, hey, he's got to have something to physically move his body to get that energy out. So we would be backstage shadow fighting and kung fu fighting in the back. So we would like do it. So he would just be like, so the song was like, oh, and he's like, and he started getting into position. And then he would start, this kid was 16, he would start fighting with me backstage. So people would come backstage and see us like, yeah! And like he's doing all this piece there. But within the 2 minutes of the song, all that nervous energy was out, the heart rate came down, and he was ready to go. So for the students that you're working with, we need to find out what makes them happy. What makes them excited? Ask them what they want. I want to do a really good job today. I want to share, well, what do you want to share today? Well, I want one person today to hire me. I want one person to do this. And as we share that information, they're going, now they're thinking about what they want, because usually the nerves are, I don't know if my zipper's down, they're going to think I'm stupid, and all these things come rushing over them, and that's what makes us start to shake.
Right.
Versus we come in here today, I'll tell you what my thoughts are. My kids are playing at the beach right now. I was like, how awesome is that? I get to speak in front of a group, my kids are at the beach. My good friend Mona, she's here right now. I get to speak in front of Mona because she hasn't seen me do the speech in front of people right now. Then I think about, oh, guess what, Aldi, I haven't seen her in like 15 years. I get to hang out with Aldi. I was thinking about all the things that I want, so nobody knows that I've never been here to physically speak in Puerto Rico before, because all you're seeing is what I want. It's a great question. Thank you so much. Your name? Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Anybody else? Any other questions? They have to go. Well, they said there's a break, so we can go to our next one. So thank you so much, everybody. Like I said, I'll be hanging out here for a little bit more today, and I'll pop in tomorrow also. Thank you.
Thanks again.
All right, thank you. There you go.